And we're back for another edition of Let's Get Local. I'm Jason Hafen, your host, a Dane Buy Local board member, and also on the Outreach Committee and Education Committee of Dane Buy Local. And it's local this holiday season. That's what we're going for. We're going to start off. We have a number of great people to talk to today, kind of about some really great local initiatives to help our businesses and help people, especially during this fourth quarter, and help people to remember that as you spend your dollars, it's really great to consider getting those gifts or spending those dollars with a local business. But we're going to start off with Colin Murray from Dane Buy Local, and Colin's going to tell us a bit about one or a few of the initiatives already going here locally. How you doing, Colin?
I'm good, Jason. Thank you for having us today. I appreciate it.
You bet. So I know Shop Indie Local is something that's been going on a while, and it's taken some different turns and forms and taglines, but it's back again, and it's really important this year, right?
Yeah, it's more important now than ever. So Shop Indie Local is a nationwide campaign among all of the buy local groups all across the country. So there are about 65 different buy local groups in all the major cities and some smaller cities as well that participate in this event each year. So and it's really a umbrella event for a number of different things that are taking place in the next few weeks here. So it's a really important time. And it's a way to tie all of that together. So the one that's probably the best known right now is Small Business Saturday. So that is the Saturday after Thanksgiving. A lot of people are aware of that. It's nationwide, sponsored by American Express. But more importantly to us, it's sponsored here locally by the Bank of Sun Prairie. We really appreciate that support that we have. And you'll be talking to John here from the Bank of Sun Prairie in just a couple minutes. But that is one of the probably most recognized events is Small Business Saturday. But then there's a new event started this year. It's called Artsy Sunday, the Sunday after Thanksgiving. And then that is followed by Local Cyber Monday. So, you know, Amazon has a big push for you to shop on their website on Monday right after Thanksgiving. You can do that locally. And if you go on our website on Marketplace, you can shop all local places right at the comfort of your computer and have it delivered to your home, just like Amazon. Same idea, but keeping all of the dollars local. And then on December 1st is Giving Tuesday. So all these different things that are taking place, all under the umbrella of Shop Indie Local, presented by the Bank of Sun Prairie.
Wow. So the marketplace now, Colin, is that a little bit different this year? I think that's newly developed.
Yeah, so that's brand new this year because of everything taking place with COVID. You know, some people are concerned about not wanting to go out of their home or want to limit the amount of exposure they have in the public eye. So we put this together this year for all of our members to participate, and it's an easy way to find businesses that you can shop locally on your computer and still be supporting them, which is important more than ever this time, with everything taking place with this, the pandemic.
Of course, you can find all that information right at danebuylocal.com, which is really exciting. Great to have all that right there, covering the gamut this holiday season. Love all those activities and things that you're pulling together here to really bring our attention from the public to our local businesses, especially during this time. Now, you mentioned, the Bank of Sun Prairie was really supportive, especially of pushing for these things. John, I'm going to bring you in now and ask you about that, because I think it's really critical to have, we want to do something locally and bring more visibility to these things, to have some support. So why was it so important for the Bank of Sun Prairie to step up this year and do that?
Absolutely. So a couple of things, first and foremost, we're happy to be a presenting sponsor for these events. Thank you, Dane Buy Local, for the opportunity. As part of the agreement, we felt it was important to link the Cottage Grove and Sun Prairie Chambers, in addition to the Sun Prairie Downtown Bid, or the Business Improvement District, to the sponsorship, just to give some, little extra promotion to Eastern Dane County and our surrounding branch locations. So, we felt that this was an opportunity for us to really collaborate with other organizations, really trying to bring business into our local communities. We just felt it was a great opportunity to do so. Bank of Sun Prairie is a member of Dane Buy Local. We support, the activities that are taking place and helping spotlight local independent businesses. And I think, especially now, it's more important than ever. We're all connected in so many ways, and anything that Bank of Sun Prairie can do to help, we're willing to do what we can to, assist the small business community. And this is just a great forum for us to do that.
There's a push, of course, through the end of the holiday season, but this concentration right now between the 9th and the 29th of November, what are some of the highlights? What are some of the things we really want to push forward here locally?
I think it's important. I mean, we all have access to internet, and it's easy to, push a button, but I think it's important to remember that it's the local businesses in our communities that really support the local economy. And, when I look at, the businesses, the next door businesses, they're supporting the teams out there, the school functions that are taking place. A little hard today, but when you look at it at a grander scale, in typical years, it's these small businesses that are really supporting activities taking place in our community. So between now and, the end of the year, this is the time to, really, give back by shopping locally so that, these businesses can, number one, stay in business and, provide for our local economies and provide to those organizations that, are in so much of the need of help these days. So, I think it's truly important to do that now.
Well, we appreciate the Bank of Sun Prairie support, John, and love what you guys have all kind of collaborated too. And going on with the collaboration, it took the city and Colleen, and then of course the chambers as well, to really get involved. So Colleen, Paula, Amy, kind of put this in your direction, and whoever wants to tackle this first. But really, how did this come together that those groups, along with the Bank of Sun Prairie, really decided, hey, we can do something bigger here if we all work together?
So I'll take a first stab at it. As the downtown business improvement manager for downtown Sun Prairie, the bank is very integral in everything that we do. One of staff at the Bank of Sun Prairie sits on the bid board, and the bank has always been a fantastic sponsor of everything that downtown does. There was a point in time, it was probably at the end of summer, where Colin came into a bid board meeting just to talk a little bit more about all the great activities and promotions and collaborations that Dane Buy Local does. And that really kind of lit a fire under all of the bid board members to say, you know what, this really makes sense. It's probably made sense for some time, but really in this environment, it makes the most sense now. Sun Prairie is one of the fastest growing communities, but when we think about our small businesses, communities don't stop like just at the boundary of the city limits. It just expands all of Dane County. So we're just excited to be part of something that's a little bit larger than just where we are, although it is a very shop small enterprise for us still. So when I look at the passport that's happening, I get excited because 12 of those Sun Prairie businesses are downtown businesses. So if you're going to visit downtown on the weekend or after hours a little bit, take a look at all the great shops and restaurants and specialty services businesses that we have. It's a great time right now as you're thinking about going into the holidays. Be thoughtful about that gift list that you've got for everyone, and just look at it and think, is there something on this list that I can shop locally for? And just to be a little bit more thoughtful about that maybe, and help these businesses, because the businesses are helping the community all year long with just a variety of asks and needs from people and organizations. So now really, I think, is the best time to be thinking about them.
Well, just to follow up on that, Colleen, what's also so interesting about so many of these downtown and local businesses is that's where you find kind of these one-of-a-kind gifts, these really unique places and unique gifts. So, I mean, that's really making Christmas special. It might not be necessarily something that was on someone's specific list, but man, you can find some really great stuff.
Absolutely. Like I like to give a gift and explain the why behind it. Like, I chose this gift for you because from this place. And then I think just tying that all together makes it a little bit more special from the person on the receiving end. Like, oh, it gives them a little bit of a glimpse into your world. And, I'm the biggest proponent for for my downtown businesses, of course, but for all small businesses, just because I know that, gosh, it's such a brave thing to do to be a small business owner any day of the year, but especially this year. So if you can talk a little bit about, I chose a ukulele as a gift for you from the Piano Gal in downtown Sun Prairie, because I know that you have a little bit more time on your hands maybe, or have always wanted to do something a little bit different. It just kind of brings it all together, I think, from a community and just from a giving standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Colleen mentioned the passport. So let's talk to Amy and also Paula about that, the two chambers. So tell people some of the highlights about what the passport's all about.
There's this great guide, Your Passport to Local Savings. It's available in print, but it's also available off of the Dane Buy Local website and Bank Sun Prairie's website. And what it does is it encourages you to shop with any of the businesses listed. And for $10 that you spend with them, each $10, you will get an entry to win over $1,500 worth of prizes. And I know, we have 8 Cottage Grove businesses in there. I'm really excited about that since this is our first year participating. And I'm just really excited. I mean, some have online offerings. So if you're not comfortable shopping in person yet, you can use their online offerings. And some do have, actual places where you can go in, as well as restaurants. We talk a lot about shop local, but I think we also need to remember that we should also eat local and invest local. And I specifically say invest because Bank of Sun Prairie in particular has done so much for our communities. And so it's so important for us to also make sure that we're investing our local dollars with them. Not only do they contribute to our tax base, but they are so generous, like Colleen mentioned. And so, you'll find opportunities through this book to do that.
And Amy, if you want to touch a little on, from your perspective with the Sun Prairie Chamber, but also then tell us a little bit about what the drawing will be and some of the extra perks from this.
We're really excited about this. And I'd like to just say that I'm new to my position here in the chamber world too. And so the collaboration that I've done with Colleen and Paula and Colin has been instrumental in me learning what's important to, highlight and pay attention to as a chamber director. So some of the prizes that you're going to win on this is pretty amazing. There's 2 different massage gift cards from the Bergamot Massage donated by Journey of Aging and Home Elements and Concepts. Eddie's Ale House and Eatery gift card. I know I want that one because I love their chicken Mikey. And 3 Faded Roots boutique gift cards. I mean, that store is just amazing. Downtown Sun Prairie. Jen has done a great job. 2 $50 to $50 full mile beer and kitchen gift cards. They're a local brewery right here in downtown Sun Prairie. So that's really exciting. We have 2 local breweries in downtown Sun Prairie. So if you're out there doing like craft beer stuff, check them out. Nitty Gritty, they have a couple. I would imagine those could be used at any of their locations too. Old Sugar Distillery gift cards, Orange Tree Imports, Prairie Flowers and gifts, and one $75 Salvatore Tomato Pies gift card. And for what I understand, he's doing an amazing takeout meal for Thanksgiving that I think is priced right around that amount. So some really great prizes here. And so like Paula said, all you have to do is spend $10 or more at any of the businesses that are listed in here and send those copies of your receipts to be placed into that drawing. And I think Paula and Colin and I are discussing how in the future, even post-COVID, we can kind of collaborate together to pool our resources for all of our members and looking into what that looks like and how does that work across chambers to do that. And Colleen and I have been doing that seamlessly since I began in my position here. So I think with everybody working together and having the Bank of Sun Prairie, really pull us all together and tie us all together has been amazing. They're a major sponsor for our corn festival every year. And I mean, any event that you see in Sun Prairie, you see the Bank of Sun Prairie there. And that's huge.
John, I wanted to ask you about that. As a local established business that is trying to set an example, what does that mean to you and to the bank to be a presenting sponsor for an event like this that pulls so many different groups together and so many local businesses and highlights them and puts that spotlight on them? What does that mean to you guys?
It means everything. Bank of Sun Prairie has been around for close to 120 years. My light just turned off, so I apologize for that. There we go. For just about 120 years, and our roots are founded upon small business and community, and we wouldn't be in existence if it wasn't for the businesses in the communities that we serve. I mean, that's how we were formed, and that's how we do business today. To collaborate with organizations like the Sun Prairie Cottage Grove Chambers, the Sun Prairie Downtown Business Improvement District, and other organizations, it's so meaningful to us because when we all work together, we all thrive. And that's what it comes down to. We're not working against each other. We need to work together. And we've got leadership, and I think Colleen mentioned this, is we've got someone at the Bank of Sun Prairie, Deb Krebs, who's very involved with the bid. We've got folks within Bank of Sun Prairie that are involved in the Sun Prairie Chamber. In fact, Joe Shook, who is one of our SVPs here at the bank, is the Sun Prairie Chamber Board President. I have a leadership position within the Cottage Grove Chamber, and we believe in giving back not only our time, but to collaborate together. And when we bring everyone together, we share ideas, we all win. Mm-hmm. And I'll give an example. I look at Cottage Grove, we've got, several financial institutions, but when it comes to community and doing things, we work together. We work with one another to come up with ideas to have our businesses thrive and do better things. And in the end, we all win. I mean, that's more business for them. It's more business for the banks. It's humbling to see this work. And, working so closely with these organizations and seeing some of the results, it works.
And bringing Colleen back to this about downtown specifically, because we know a lot of our downtowns have been hit maybe hardest by the pandemic, even a little more than some other places, because that's where people would gather. So, to highlight more downtown businesses, what do you think this means to some of those businesses downtown that have been sticking it out during this tough time?
It means everything to them. Every little thing that we do, I get more thank yous right now than I've ever gotten in my life. And I still feel like I'm not doing enough. Because there's some things where your hands are just tied. Even if you get creative, you're not able to do, it feels like enough. But it really does mean everything to them. Outside of this collaboration, usually years we would be doing a single ladies night out event in the downtown. And this year we're expanding it for a full month. It begins on the Shop Local Saturday in November. I believe that's the 28th, and it'll run through all of December. And the retailers who don't have a strong, multi-platform faceted business where they can do online, or their business model just isn't conducive to that because it's a walk in and shop and that kind of thing, they are just, please, let's do something, because there is a little bit of that population that is still willing to go out. So we're doing everything safe. We're doing everything in conjunction with guidance that we've gotten from Madison Dane County Public Health. So we feel like we're doing it in a very safe way, but still allowing those individuals who want to go out and do some shopping in a personal way to allow them to do that. Because there are some businesses, like I say, who they need that walk in the door traffic. And they're just, like I said, beyond thankful to be able to have somebody plan something for them that's for the greater good. So it's not just for their business, it's for all 10 on the street or whatever it is. So yeah, it's probably the most important work that I've done this year in the 4 years that I've been doing this work.
Jason, I wanted to just kind of piggyback off that. One of the things we've had to do this year is get very creative for our small businesses. And as we were approaching this holiday season, realizing most craft shows were canceled and things of that nature, we thought, well, how can we still help some of those businesses who don't necessarily have a storefront, who might have relied on the craft shows and such? And what we've done here in Cottage Grove is we've started something called Shop Early Saturdays. And this is on our Facebook page. But the one place everybody has to go right now is the grocery store. And so our locally owned Piggly Wiggly, owned by the Schomer family, has graciously offered space the next couple of Saturdays to some of our small businesses to be able to sell their wares, in the grocery store. So it's just another opportunity where our members, our businesses have collaborated together to help each other.
Amy, from the Sun Prairie perspective too, as we bring in the chamber there, I mean, I know the chambers are for all businesses, right? All businesses can be members, but obviously a high concentration of small businesses are chamber members. So you know how important that is. And I think, when I see chambers coming together and working with those small businesses and really supporting them, I think that just helps kind of keep our community vibrant. But what from your perspective as a chamber, how important are those small businesses to you?
Well, they're huge. I mean, they're not just their small business that creates revenue for themselves and their family members, right? They're paying rent to a building owner, and that building owner is paying for a mortgage to a bank, and the bank is paying to the bigger, companies and stuff like that. So it's full circle. If that small business goes under, it's a trickle effect. It doesn't just affect that business. It affects the building owner, the bank, and then the national, on a national level as well. So it is so important that all businesses succeed.
We're all in the same community. We're all in this together, like you guys said. And obviously with this collaboration, you've shown that you have that mentality, which is fantastic, and setting the example too. I think that's one of the powerful things we can do is show people how, if we work together, hey, this might spark it, doing it in another community or another area of the state or the country or something like that when we do things like this. So congratulations to all of you. I think this is wonderful. And for Dane Buy Local being involved too. All right. To take us out, please just remind us, John, why people need to shop local this holiday season.
Absolutely. So now's the time to shop local. Our small businesses, the owners, our communities are depending on it. It's the lifeblood of our local economies, and they give back to our communities not only through charitable ways but through taxes and other means. So if we want to see our neighbors and our friends running those small businesses, we have to do some shopping there. So there's great products, great services, great restaurants and bars out there. So please do what you can to stay local, shop local. We're counting on you.
Amen.
Fantastic. Well, thanks to all of you for taking time out today to pull this together and tell us all about this concentrated effort to really help the public shop local this holiday season. Amy from the Sun Prairie Chamber, Colleen from downtown Sun Prairie, Paula from the Cottage Grove Chamber of Commerce, and John from the Bank of Sun Prairie, the presenting sponsor of this initiative here this year. Thanks to all of you again, and stay local, stay safe, and we'll catch you all again real soon here on Let's Get Local for Dane Buy Local.